Morning guys, the subject of this video will be geolocation of large drawing in Autocad LT. The example of the drawing you can see here, and the video will be slightly different than some videos presented in other YouTube channels where most of advices are focused on just smallish drawings like one building or one street and so on. Today I have slightly different situation because my drawing is really massive. Let me take the measurement and you will see what is the real distance of my drawing. So when I start here and I finish there, as you can see, I've got over 8 kilometers of drawing from here to there. So this is really large image to geolocate in the AutoCAD map. Why am I doing it? Because when we are geolocating larger areas, we might face some unforeseen inaccuracies which need to be fixed. They not necessarily need to occur when geolocate smaller drawings. That's why I decided to record this video and show you how to deal with situations such as this. So as you can see, we've got the drawing which looks like this: 7,000 meters from east to west, another 4,000 from south to north, and diagonally over 8,000 meters. So this is pure ordnance survey drawing, as you can see, and I will try to match this drawing with the AutoCAD map canvas, being precise, AutoCAD satellite imagery. So our first step, before I jump to the particular geolocation tool, I would like to make sure that my map units are in meters. So how to do it? Let me escape from this current option, and in the command bar type units, where I will double check insertion scale. So insertion scale map is meter, which is fine because we need this insertion scale as the major reference of our map drawing. It will falls in meters, then we can make sure that it will fit our map geolocated in the AutoCAD. It will be the option to double check it later, but it's good to do it at this stage specifically. Alright, so I can hit OK right now and go to geolocation. We can find it by going to the insert in our main toolbar, and at the very end of the panel is the set location. Set location, this is the tool which allows us to get our drawing geolocated both from map and from file. For the time being, I will just focus on geolocation from map and will record another video about geolocation from file a bit later. So let me do it from map. You will have the comment like, do you want to use online map data? Of course you will. Then hit yes, and wait a minute. You should see the world map, Bing world map located here. Another step is finding your address. You can type the address here. In my case, it will be this small village in England. Hit magnifying glass, and as the default, the marker has been dropped in the village, pretty much in the mathematical center of the village I defined. Yeah, so I can use drop marker here, or I can simply right click anywhere on the map and use the same option in the place where I specifically need it. And this is the specificity of geolocating the large drawing in AutoCAD, because I think the best benefit is to locating our marker pretty much in the middle of our drawing in order to get rid of any inaccuracies which may come out later. So I won't use this location because this location exactly falls somewhere here. I will drag my map and find some place which falls pretty much in the middle of my drawing. So let me use maybe this section, this smallish residential area which is already here, and use one of the junctions here. Another thing, by doing it, I would like to tell you, this is the choosing some characteristical point. So it must be the point which you will easily recognize later on your map and on your drawing. So first of all, obviously you need to drop your marker on your map here, but it must be the place which will be easily recognizable on your drawing later. So let me use, for example, this junction which falls here, like you see on the map. Let me do the right click here and move marker here, and I will know that the place will be exactly here. I will back to this a bit later. Alright, so we've got the first step encountered, and in this case we need to go to the next step, which is definition of the coordinate system. And in our case, coordinate system must fit the drawing in which coordinate system has been prepared. So in our case is the British National Grid. So hit this drawing like you see here, it will be highlighted in bluish. And again, this is the situation which I told you previously. I typed units and checked that the insertion scale is units. Same here, drawing units on your map are meters, so we can make sure that everything is fine with respect to it. Therefore, we can hit next, and we are going to the next step, which is important, and this step, which is a verification of the place on our drawing where we put the marker on the map. So we've got the point for the location, and we need to define this point. So as far as you remember, we used this place. This is roughly the location, and the plus, which is already here, defines the midpoint where we need to specify our point right now, because we use this on our map. By the occasion of saying it, you can use all these auxiliary shapes greenish by using this panel here. So if you toggle some option, then the option will help you to place the marker here. So this is just out of interest, by the way. So let me define the point here. And another step is defining the north direction. So the easiest way to find north direction is just pulling the line away from the point who's been placed. As the default, it will be up because we are going north. So if I press this here, I can define the north arrow. Another, I think, slightly more tricky way is defining the north direction angle by specifying both points separately. So because we need to check our first point and second point. So in this case, the first point will allow us to start defining the north arrow away from the point defined on the map, if that makes sense for you. So by the case I'm doing right now, you can treat your first point as the point where you define for the location, and your second point will be another point pulled away from that point. So like here, yeah. So if I press the point here, then my north direction has been specified, and you can see this red rosette defines the point, the geographic marker which comes from the map. Alright, so we've got the area geolocated, and the first thing which comes to our mind is that the layer geolocated doesn't look very well against the satellite imagery provided, because the layer itself has gray coloration and the features are simply merged with the satellite imaginary landscape beneath. That's why we need to change the color of this layer. That this is the best option. By clicking in any time of our layer, we can see that the color. We can see also the layer. However, is not advisable to change color just here, because you will change the color just for one feature unless you will select all of them at once. So it's better to go to the main bar, to the home, and in the layers panel check what layers we are dealing with. This is the OS mapping layer already, so once we develop, we've got another layers, but we can double click on the layer and change the color from the gray to black. In this case, our whole layer became black, which is very good, because now we can see clearly how the drawing corresponds with the satellite imagery provided. And as you can see, near the middle point, everything looks pretty much fine. But as we are going further from the main point, we can see bigger shifts. So one of the issues here is that because the drawing is big, the shifts arose, and we need to combat with them. We need to fix this map. And why are these shifts occur? Because once we have larger drawing, we need to be more precise, both in defining our geographical point, and especially we need to be more precise with defining the coordinate, the north arrow. So as you can see, maybe the definition of geolocation point wasn't also the best. As you can see, this road is slightly shifted, but the biggest error occurs in the case of the north arrow definition. So it's an easy fix. We don't need to worry about that much, because in our geolocation section, once the geolocation is provided, we've got the whole panel available. We can choose edit location, but in this case, addition of the location will bring us back to the beginning. So as you can see, we can do it both from map, some from file. So it's exactly the same option as set geolocation displayed previously. So it's not the best option. We can use reorient market. That will be the best option. Obviously, what you can see beneath the line is the name of the command, which you can type here, and you will also get the same effect. Your orient marker, like you can see, and you will have the first command, which is select the point for the location. But I won't do it right now, because let me check what has happened here, and let me fix it on manual way firstly. So this road doesn't fall great, So what I can do with this issue? I can go to the measurement, and I can measure the difference between the line concerned and the road. Then I can see that it's about 2.3 meters shifted. Yeah. So what I could do with this case, I need to pull this point towards there. So I need to draw the line, but before I do it, I need to tell you another thing which I have forgotten recently. I cannot draw the line towards this direction because the system is upside down. So I need to pull the line towards this direction, towards down. So by starting from this point, I need to pull down 2.3 meters, right? And then my line will be like here, and now I can back to the geolocation and reorient marker. My new place will be the endpoint of the new line drawn, which will fall here. And again, the north direction can be specified by two methods. Like you see here, the 90 in the brackets means that this is the recent value of angle, which represents the north direction. I put the angle like 90 degrees. So because I know that the previous angle was 90 degrees, I can now try with 92 degrees and hit enter and see what will happen. So at the first glance you can see that the road has been fixed. The border covers the footpath pretty much. But what is happening further, I don't think the map is corrected enough because some features are still outside, but it looks much better than previously. We need just another easy fix to provide for our situation, like you see here. For example, this drawing seems to be still quite shifted, so let me find another places where I could do the proper adjustments, like this area for example. So it looks like I need to hit reorient marker again, and now I can do it without drawing the line, because I can see that my marker needs to go towards this way, towards east. Like you see here, this roundabout must be pretty much here. Okay, so let me pull towards west, and in my north arrow we can use also decimals. So if you are unhappy with the orientation at this moment, you can use the decimals like 92.3 and try another method. And let's check what has happened. So it's still quite not right. So this is like the trial and error method. So after trying several times more, you will be sure that your map eventually is correct. If you are unsure with respect of the orientation, you don't necessarily need to do everything particular in this one point. This point is just for defining the geolocation of our marker. But since this geolocation is provided, you don't necessarily need to stick to this particular place. You can jump elsewhere. You think it's easier to adjust the north arrow and play in that particular place. So recently I put 92.2. It has been rounded to 92, which you can see in the bracket. However, the representation, the value is still 92.2 provided. But if this value doesn't fit your current circumstances, you can change it to 92.3 and see what has happened. So as you can see, it's still not right. So we need to go back and again go to that here, 92.1. If not, click reorient again, try 92.2 again maybe, in order to make sure, but this is wrong. So we need to, no, this is wrong. Bear in mind the zoom level. Yeah, 91.9 seems to be almost correct. 91.85. Yeah, I think 91.85 is the stuff which we certainly need. And now I can back to my previous step, discussed measurement, distance, and measure the distance optionally between this corner and the corner represented on the map. Let's assume that this is the same line, and I have 1.7 meters of the shift. So what does it mean? In my point here, I need to draw the line in opposite direction, which counts 1.7 meters here, right? If I do so, I need to go back to the geolocation and repeat reorient marker. And my marker reorientation will be this endpoint will state about the new location of the marker, and the north direction angle I can, for sake of safety, I can repeat the value provided here, which was 91.85. Hit enter, and as you can see, our map is almost correct. It's still some smallish thing to do, but some errors might occur rather from the drawing itself rather than from the geolocation. So let's check another regions of my drawing. So this is the roundabout which fit the satellite imagery. Let's check another one. Then you've got some buildings here, plot of lands. Everything seems to be much fine or almost fine. Here is great. Another roundabout here. So I think we are done with this task, and we can be proud of ourselves because currently our drawing in AutoCAD Lite matches the map canvas provided, being precise the satellite imagery. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and learned something new. Thank you for your attention.